All right, look at us. We are live on Facebook, boys and girls. Okay, welcome you guys to our very first episode of We Try It Before You Buy It. That sounds way better than you buying it and then trying it, doesn't it? We had some people try a product for you, regular people, just regular, everyday essential oil users have tried this product, Mito2Max, and we're going to talk to them tonight. We're going to talk about what made them try it, like what were they experiencing in their bodies that made them want to try it, and what did they feel after they tried it. Okay. And we're hoping that this will encourage you to add this product to your shopping list because honestly, it is a fantastic product. So I'm Deanna Nichols. I'm a doTERRA Blue Diamond. P.S. This is supposed to be broadcasting live on YouTube, but we could not figure that out. This was going to be our very first maiden voyage for live YouTube, and we couldn't get it to work. We had some technical issues. So you guys get to see us on Facebook. So if you're watching, we would love for you to invite a friend. We would love for you to comment and tell us that you're watching on Facebook. Ask your questions. That's weird. I don't know why, Denise. I've got you as a co-host. You should be able to do whatever you want at this point. You have the keys to the kingdom, dear. So hopefully we'll see if we can get Denise on. But yeah, let us know that you're on so that we can greet you, tell us where you're from. I would like to know if you've ever actually tried Mito2Max or not. Mito2Max, Mito2Max, it stands for mitochondria. And if you've tried it or not, let us know. Let us know what experiences that you've had. We want to hear from you as well. It's okay if you haven't ever tried it because that's the whole point. We want to kind of give you a chance to chat about it with regular people, find out what they have to say, and then you can decide. Okay, here we go. I see that we're live on Facebook. Let me turn this down. All right, Carol's here. Mary Jane, Lori are all watching. All right, good. So we're good to go. The only thing we're missing is Denise. We can't get Denise's lovely face on here, so we'll have her keep working on her end. There's literally nothing more I can do on my side. You're unmuted. And you're a co-host, so there's something going on your end. So I'll let you work on that for a little bit. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about why I started using Mito2Max. Okay, so when Mito2Max came out, I was pregnant with my son, and I was almost 40, which with my first pregnancy. So, I mean, I was not a spring chicken, and I needed all the support that I can get to get through that. So I started taking the Mito2Max, and then I read somewhere that Mito2Max came from mushrooms. Cordyceps is the source. And I freaked out because I was of the belief at that time that mushrooms bad, fungus bad. So I thought I cannot be taking these. So I had recently just had my son, and he was, I don't know, he was probably 3 or 4 weeks old. And I don't know if you know this, but pregnancy is pretty rough on the old adrenals. It's pretty rough on the thyroid, and breastfeeding and not sleeping at night and giving birth. All those things are pretty rough on your body. So I decided at that time, that was the perfect time to stop taking my Mito2Max because I was scared. I didn't understand that mushrooms could be good for you. So I stopped taking it. And I remember we were packing for a trip, and we were in the kitchen trying to prep food and whatever for a trip. And I was literally just standing there crying. I was so exhausted, and I just couldn't anymore. I don't know if you've ever been that tired when you had to do something and you just couldn't. And I'm standing there just blubbering and crying, and I couldn't stand. I was too tired to stand. And my husband looked at me, and he was like, "What the heck is wrong with you?" And I said, "Well, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but I stopped taking my Mito2Max a few days ago." And he goes, take it now." So I stopped what I was doing and took my Mito2Max, and that's the last time I ever didn't take my Mito2Max. I've learned, it was revolutionary for me. And honestly, I had been struggling. Hey, Billy. Hey, Mary James. I've been struggling for a while with my adrenals. And when I say a while, I'm talking about decades. And I did all kinds of things to try to support my adrenals, both medicinally and naturally. And I really didn't make a lot of progress. And that particular childbirth was pretty traumatic. And I had an emergency C-section. And Then my kid decided he didn't want to breastfeed for 72 hours. So I had to pump and feed him from a dropper for 72 hours right after having emergency C-section. So, I mean, I was wrecked. My body was pretty wrecked. And unbelievably, I did two things. I took, of course, I was taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack. I mean, if you're going to take a doTERRA supplement, you should probably start with Lifelong Vitality Pack. So I'm sort of assuming that you're already taking that, and then you're going to add the Mito2Max to it. But so I definitely think that you need you need the nutritional basis as well. But if you want to take Mito2Max by itself, I mean, you certainly can try that and see. But I was definitely taking Lifelong Vitality Pack, and then I added Mito2Max. And I also added an oil called Elevation, and I was putting that over my adrenal area, which is like kind of in your mid to low back area where your kidneys are. And I really, it only took me about a week to notice a drastic difference in my adrenal health. And I had been struggling with it for decades. So I am a huge fan of the Mito2Max. Yes, Jane, I'm so sorry if you got confused. We were supposed to be live on YouTube, and we had some technical issues, so we decided to bless Facebook with our presence instead. So we're talking about why you need Mito2Max. So basically for me, I needed Mito2Max just to survive as a human and definitely as a new mom. And so we've got some other panelists on here that are going to tell us kind of like why they started using it and what their results were. So Jim, let's start with you. Jim, tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of give us 30 seconds to introduce yourself, like where you're from, what do you do, how long have you been in doTERRA, and then you can kind of jump in and tell us like what made you decide to try Mito2Max.
Yeah, thanks, Deanna. I appreciate it. So just to give you a little bit of background, on my day-to-day routine, I, by profession, am an IT security analyst for the Library of Congress. I've been with doTERRA for about 6 months now, and I'm just going to go right out of the gate and say that so far I have not had any negative experience with any doTERRA product. But I decided that over the past month, I really wanted to just focus in and see what Mito2Max might do for me in order to just see like what kind of difference would it make in terms of like would it actually give me energy, would it help me kind of get up in the morning, etc. So what I did for the last 30 days is I did a little bit of experiment, and I said, well, why don't I just when I take Mito2Max, I'm just going to experiment for a little bit and see like what happens when I take it at different times of the day. And I made sure that I took it every single day for the last 30 days, and I've noticed an incredible difference in my vitality level, my confidence level. I've been more aware at work. I haven't dozed off nearly as much as I would. I've noticed a drastic difference in my energy level overall. And I've just been really happy, and I'm just like, why did I not think about this years and years ago? This would have helped me tremendously. So I'd encourage anybody, just even for a generic energy boost in the day, it would help tremendously, I believe. So give it a shot, and I'm looking forward to hearing what everybody else has to say. Any similar results. So I'll pass the mic on. What do you think?
All right. Well, okay, so I have a few follow-up questions. So I would imagine the type of work that you do is pretty detail-oriented, so you need to be focused. So one of the things that you mentioned, like, was increased awareness. Are you talking about like just kind of mental, like cognitively?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've seen a heightened cognitive awareness of things around me. I've been able to stay focused on every document that I've been doing. I've just been able to, take it and then finish it without ever having to like take a break. And then I just have this desire to want to just get it done, just to follow through with it and get it done and move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Now, this is called an energy supplement. So immediately when I hear energy supplement, I start to think about things like energy drinks and things that make you feel like you have this like sudden burst of energy, but then you feel all jittery and then you crash.
Oh, absolutely not. I think one thing that Mito2Max has done for me is throughout the day, I've noticed a incredible boost in energy throughout the day. And like you said, I mean, I've taken Red Bull like just to say, oh, let's just get a burst of energy because I just need to get through this. But Mito2Max, I have to say that I have not had that crash, and so that's one of the things I'm really thankful for.
Yeah.
Um,
Excellent. Okay, so what I want people to understand is that this is energy and stamina too. So it's not like you don't have to take like you don't have to keep stuffing down Mito2Max throughout the day, kind of like you would have to keep drinking 5-hour energies or you know, Red Bulls throughout the day to kind of maintain that high. And it doesn't make you feel jittery at all. It just literally helps you get more stuff done and help you to stay more focused while you're doing it. So people that struggle with being able to focus and their attention kind of goes from thing to thing and they have struggle with that, even kids, this is a really great supplement to add into your day. It is also really good for people who struggle just in general with anything brain related. So people who struggle with maybe memory or cognition, you know, sometimes you see those kinds of things in the elderly. This would be a really great supplement. It has things in it that are actually supportive for cardiovascular health too. So how many times have you guys heard of people drinking like Red Bulls and stuff like that and then like having rapid heart rate or high blood pressure or just having some cardiovascular event? This has actually got coenzyme Q10 in here, which we know is a supplement that supports cardiovascular health. There's other things in here for circulatory health, like I can never say this right, but quercetin, I think is how you say it. It also has lychee fruit extract and green tea extract in here, all for the purpose of circulation. When this product came out, have you guys ever seen those diagrams where they measure like the heat coming from the body and you can see like a diagram of the person's body and like where all the like orange and red spots are? And they did that, they measured that with people that were taking Mito2Max and they could see like a huge increase. So how, I'm not a scientist, so I like to describe things in ways that regular people can understand them. And how I like to describe Mito2Max is actually that it's not that you are getting more energy, it's that you're getting more efficiency. It's kind of like how you could put like 93 octane gas in your car or 89 octane, you know, and you can just get better performance out of your engine. So you're actually getting better performance out of your cells and more longevity and more, your individual cells are able to operate at a better capacity because of the ingredients in the Mito2Max. Does that make sense? So let's go now to one of our next panelists. Let's talk to Terry. Terry, so give us a brief introduction to you. Who are you? Where are you from? How long have you been using doTERRA? And what made you decide to try Mito2Max?
I'm Terry Millette, and right now I'm in Kentucky, and I have a lot of chronic illness. I have SLE, lupus, and I was feeling really tired and weak and no energy at all. So I actually started the Mito2Max because I was going to try to lose weight. So that's when I actually really started it. And I've been with doTERRA for about a year. So when I started taking this, and it's made me have more energy. When I start feeling sluggish, it gives me a little boost. I'm like, my thoughts and stuff are more clear and I notice a lot more stuff. I've had a brain aneurysm, so my memory is kind of not so great, but since I've been taking this, I think my memory's improved a whole lot. I've noticed stuff like buildings and stuff when I'm driving that I've never seen before. And so I see a lot more stuff now. It helps me. I wake up in the morning, it just gives me energy to start my day and feel better. And I've also had open heart surgery, so this doesn't affect anything to do with my heart. So it's really good for me.
Yes, it's actually very healthy for the heart and lots of good ingredients in here. I like what you pointed out about how it helps you to feel like ready to get out of bed in the morning. A lot of people don't know that your body actually makes cortisol at 4 different times of the day. And one of the times is early hours of the morning. And if your body is under stress for a long period of time, maybe from illness or just actual traumas and stressful lifestyle, or if you're not getting the proper amount of sleep, like you're going to bed after midnight, you're doing shift work, your body's not able to make cortisol properly. And so it starts to get really high. You get high cortisol when you're really stressed. When your cortisol is high for a really long time, your body will do just about anything to lower it, including stop making it at certain times. And many people experience a low cortisol first thing in the morning, and it really they literally cannot get out of bed in the morning. I actually struggled with that for decades. I started struggling with that in high school, and I mean, I depended on things like stimulants to get my butt out of bed so I could make it to work or make it to school or just make it, take care of whatever responsibilities I had. And I am a coffee drinker. And so for 30 days, I stopped drinking coffee just because I was struggling with my gallbladder and I was trying to do a cleanse. And I thought, like, oh my gosh, I wonder what my life's going to be like without the stimulants and the coffee. And do you know that I felt no different at all? Like, I really think that I actually just like the ritual of drinking the hot drink in the morning and the taste of coffee. I really do not experience any sort of a withdrawal when I'm not using caffeine. And I do think that has a lot to do with the Mito2Max. So the ability of your adrenals, there's an ingredient in this called ashwagandha, which is extremely supportive to the adrenals. And it allows your adrenals to not feel that they're under stress. And so they release cortisol at the proper times and the proper amounts. And your body's able to like go through its normal sleeping and waking cycles without a struggle. And so I think that's part of what you're seeing, Terry, is being able to get up in the morning. Let's see if we can go to Linda now. Linda, I feel like everybody knows Linda now at this point. Linda's been with us for a long time as part of our oil family, but for those who don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, how long you've been doTERRIAN, and what made you decide to start using the Mito2Max.
Well, I've been with doTERRA since January of 2015. I have been using Mito2Max for half of that. I have work in our family business here in Louisiana and do my oils, of course, and share and try to, get people to realize how wonderful they are. I'm a grandmother. I help keep my grandchildren, and it's just a busy lifestyle that I love. So anyway, I have been using Mito2Max. I was already on the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and I realized I needed more energy. So I kind of researched a little bit on the Mito2Max because I do have to take things for blood pressure issues. So, and of course, I don't drink the caffeine drinks, those drinks that they take, Red Bull, I guess, and some other things to help keep them going. I can't do that anyway because it would make my blood pressure go sky high. So anyway, after I read on it and seeing how, it was such a wonderful natural thing to take, I thought, well, I talked to my internist because she likes the essential oils too. And so I started taking those, and it never bothered anything never bothered my blood pressure. In fact, it gave me energy in the midday because I was needing more energy. We want as much energy as we can get anyway because we stay so busy. But anyway, I did start taking it. I monitor my blood pressure. Everything's great. And I contribute that to not having caffeine as well as a lot of sugar that you're going to have maybe an hour's worth of energy and then crash. But it's just been wonderful for that aspect. I also don't have any problems with my mood. I feel great. I feel normal. It's I just keep going, kind of like the Energizer Bunny, till I crash at night and go to sleep. It doesn't even bother me. I mean, I just go straight to sleep, no problems, get up, and I'm ready to go the next morning. I mean, most every morning anyway. But I do take my Lifelong Vitality Pack at night too. I feel like that helps first thing in the morning also. But, that is some of the wonderful things because from what I can see and what I've heard from people talking, anybody can take the Mito2Max as long as they monitor it, from people that are, pregnant to people my age. You can just take it forever, and
Yeah.
it's just a wonderful. And I read about the ashwagandha root, how that had been studied for so many years, centuries, as a matter of fact, and how it does help boost the energy in a natural way. And I'm all for anything natural, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And that is a good point, what she was saying about like, it doesn't keep her awake. So I know some people are worried, like you wouldn't drink a 5-hour energy drink, 30 minutes before bedtime, for example. But I have taken Mito2Max later in the day before. In fact, how I prefer to use Mito2Max is I take one with breakfast and one with dinner. Now, some would say that you shouldn't take it like that late in the day, but I've never had an issue. In fact, I have a lot of stuff that I have to do in the evenings. Like I do events like this in the evenings. I try to catch up on work, after my kids is finally in bed and asleep and actually like stays in bed and stays asleep. I try to get a couple hours of work done at night. And so it kind of gives me a little bit of more stamina to get stuff done during the quiet hours of the day when I'm not as needed as a mom. So, but yet I can still fall asleep because I know this because I'll try to watch a show on Netflix and I only get the first 15 minutes. And the next thing you know, I've dozed off and I have to climb upstairs and go to bed. So, so yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I am going to try to see if we can get Denise, at least her voice on here. Denise, I think I've been able to unmute you. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. Yes, we can hear you. We just can't see you. So I definitely want to hear from you. So tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and why you started using Mito2Max.
So I'm a nurse in Reno, Nevada. I've been doing doTERRA for a number of years now, but don't ask me how many years now. But I've used Mito2Max on and off, but never religiously. But I've been doing it pretty religiously now for about 6 months. But as I'm sure you already know, you and I have something in common because I've lost about 19 pounds now. And I've been doing it with a pretty much like protein, vegetable-based diet. And so I have been getting up at 4:30 in the morning to make it to the gym. And even though that's great and the gym gives you energy, I personally sort of wear out later in the day, like that 3 o'clock hour. So I was having, like 3 cups of coffee a day. And I was like, there's got to be a healthier option to 3 cups of coffee a day. So just like you, I started adding the Mito2Max later in the day, in the afternoon, to give me sort of that push like you do to finish out the rest of the day, come home, do laundry and all those kinds of things. My mom recently passed, as many of you probably already know. And if we do more research on the ashwagandha, there's lots of mental support beneficial things that ashwagandha is for. And so a lot of people are like, you're doing so well. And I'm like, I really attributed that to taking Mito2Max really religiously every day. I also have like attention issues. So I think Mito2Max is very supportive for that as well. It just helps me keep very focused. I find I don't even have to write lists as much anymore because I can kind of keep it all very mentally in tuned and focused. And it's been a great addition for me to keep on a constant rather than just sort of hit and miss for me. So.
Yeah. And I've heard people say they take it like if they're having a rough day, they take it. But I feel like for me, it works far better if I take it consistently. It's the same way as anything else. Like, it's like you don't want to just eat healthy food on days when you're feeling like crap. Like, you want that to be a daily habit, and you don't want to just use essential oils when something's wrong. You want to use them to keep your body at its, at its optimal level. And I feel like, yeah, I agree with you. When I am consistent to take my Mito2Max, I definitely feel like I get more done. I'm more productive. My moods are better. My sleep is better quality. I can't remember one of y'all even said that you saw reduction in pain in your body. And I think sometimes that just the cortisol issues, I remember when I had severe adrenal issues, like my feet would just hurt really bad all the time. And I had them looked at. There was nothing wrong. I didn't have neuropathy. I didn't have anything like that going on. I really just think that it was just my body's way of manifesting the issues I was having with my adrenals. And so sometimes when we just get better rest in our bodies under less stress, we just don't feel as much physical pain. So there's a lot of side benefits to Mito2Max. You think you're taking it for energy, and we've got people talking about weight loss. We've got people talking about clarity. We've got people talking about emotional health, better sleep, less pain. This is just absolutely something you should try. I'm going to tell you some really good news about Mito2Max. You can get it at like half price. How you get it for like $20 instead of, I think it's like $39 normally, is you buy the lifelong vitality pack on your loyalty rewards order, and then you add Mito2Max, and they give it to you for just about half price. So that is what I do. Every month I order a pack of lifelong vitality, and I add Terrazyme, PB Assist, and Mito2Max. Like, I take all three of those with my lifelong vitality, because the Terrazyme, I want to absorb all the nutrients from my vitamins. I take the PB Assist because I want to have I want to have really healthy gut flora, like a healthy immune system, healthy emotions. It's all important with your probiotics. And Mito2Max for energy. And like I learned that day when I was just crying like a crazy postpartum pregnant lady or postpartum lady in the kitchen, I just need to take my Mito2Max every day to just function at, to be able to adult basically and handle the things that come into my life. I need it. So let me ask you guys all one last question, and that is can you give me a number between 1 and 10 on how you felt energy wise before, like 1 being like I couldn't function at all, and 10 I could run marathons and circles around people. What would you say your number was before Mito2Max versus what it is now? So just kind of go down the line and shout out your number. Just say your name and tell me what your before and your after number would be for energy.
Okay, so this is Jim. I'd say that my number before was probably about, if I had to gauge it, probably about a 3. And then as for Mito2Max, probably about an 8 or 9. I've noticed a drastic difference over the last month.
Wow, that's great. Okay, who else?
My name is Carrie. I was about a 3, and now I would say I'm about an 8.
Excellent. Go ahead, Linda.
I would say mine was probably, at times it would drop down probably to about 2, to where you didn't want to pick your feet up and go. But I would say 10 now, especially after convention, because I never stopped the whole time.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at how much energy I did have. So
yeah,
I did get a lot from the from the Mito2Max before then, but I really tested it during convention time.
Yes. And I saw you running around like a crazy lady, so I can vouch for that. She was getting everything done and still had lots of energy. And it's hard for me to believe that you've got grandchildren. Like, you are very youthful and very energetic. And so that is a great testimonial. All right, who else are we missing? Oh, Denise, I got you on camera too now.
Hi.
There she is.
Well, I was a mom and a nurse. Even though I felt like a 4, you never stop. You got to keep going. So I was still going through all the motions, but definitely like a 4. But now that I've been taking it all the time, very religiously, 2 capsules a day, I would say like an 8.5, maybe a 9. And if I could add one more thing about your comment about the circulatory support is, one of our biggest organs that needs excellent circulation is our brain.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you that, having that blood flow to our brain more effectively is like how we're going to feel better and be more awake, more alert, have stronger attention. And so I think that's where our emotional fog or, our tiredness comes from. It's not always physical tired as it is, like you said, running and doing all the things that you do too. It's like that's more exhausting than just the physical actions,
Yep, I agree. That's a good point. I appreciate you sharing that, especially with from a medical perspective. That's helpful to know. Okay, well, so what I didn't hear is there, and I think I already know the answer. Is there anybody here that's like, okay, I tried the Mito2Max experiment. I don't feel like I need this anymore. I'm just going to stop now because I've done the experiments. Or anybody that just doesn't feel like they want to continue with the Mito2Max?
It's given me so much energy that one night I decided to paint my whole living room and my ceilings.
There you go. So it's good for home improvements as well. So for those watching that have not yet decided to add this to their order, anybody have any last words of advice for those folks that are considering whether or not they need this in their life?
If you're even considering it, you need to try it because it really, really, honestly, it makes a difference in how you feel. Plus, you get all the other added benefits with it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Anybody
would
else?
definitely say give it a try. I noticed a difference almost immediately when I started taking it regularly. So don't knock it until you try it.
Good advice. All
I
right,
just
y'all.
I just ordered my college student her first bottle. So
Oh,
we're
gosh,
sharing
man.
it family wide.
I tell you what, Denise, I wish I had that back in college. But college was a rough time for me. I'm diagnosed with narcolepsy, and I also had thyroid and adrenal disease, and I struggled so hard. And college was like some of the worst times of my life. And I can only imagine what my life would have been like with lifelong vitality, oils, and Mito2Max. So yeah, that is such great advice. Kids often, they really push themselves during those college years. Sometimes unnecessarily and for fun reasons, but still, they push themselves past their limits. So Mito2Max is definitely, and we know that teenagers and people in their 20s definitely need all the brain circulation that they can get so they make better choices.
But yeah, absolutely. And just to,
Yeah. Are you still there, Jim?
oh yeah, I was just gonna say, and just to echo what you were saying. I mean, especially when I was in college, I would go through these episodes of falling asleep during class. One time, a professor threw a piece of chocolate at me to wake me up because I was snoring. It was really bad.
Yes.
I,
I had those days as well. I'm sure I fell asleep during my advanced English class
right,
more
and
times than I can imagine.
and I can only imagine how much different it would have been if I had something like Mito2Max back in those days. I probably would have
Yes.
been a lot more productive and a much better student.
That's right. And to that point, you don't have to wait to be 18 or an adult to use Mito2Max. I have heard some success stories from people as young as using it on their children as young as 10 years old, especially for the focus reason. And if their child is not able to actually swallow the capsule, which I mean, I can swallow like 20 of these at once if I really need to, but I've had a lot of practice. Some people have trouble swallowing these capsules. You can open them up and put it in something like a smoothie if you need to. So don't be afraid to try that. They may not need the 2 capsules for like a smaller person, but don't be afraid to try it on your child. Let them experience and see how it helps them, particularly with the focus issue. I've heard a lot of really good testimonials about that. So I wanted to point that out as well.
And do they have it in a liquid form yet?
We don't. If you can think of a way, doTERRA did just come up with a way to make a capsule that has powder and liquid together that do not combine. And that is in our new turmeric.
Is that the turmeric one? Yeah.
Capsule. So who knows what kind of technology we'll come up with. I mean, I will not be surprised because I think it took us 3 years to come up with that technology. Nobody has anything like that. So for sure, there are definitely improvements that can be made down the line. But so far, it's comes in a powder. So your choices are to swallow it or open it up and add it to something. And I know of people that are using it in that way as well. All right, so we will be back with another episode of We Try It Before You Buy It on the 3rd Thursday of next month. My goal is to try to make it work for YouTube. But of course, we will simultaneously broadcast it as well. And we'll have replays available for our members on the Oil Shares VIPs group. So thank you all for those of you that figured out how to find us and are watching. Thank you for being here. We hope that you'll share your comments and stories and let us know if you are planning now to try it for the first time, or tell us your testimonials if you've already tried it, to help somebody else make that decision for their health and their family. Thank you to all our panelists, Terry, Linda, Jim.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for being here. You all have a great night.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.